Early this morning, PlayStation announced important updates. News on physical discs for new games. Oh, wow. I can't imagine what this could be. Let's take a look. Physical disc production ending in January 2028 for new games releasing on PlayStation consoles. This is funny. They say, in response to shifting trends in consumer preference, new games will be released on PlayStation Store and at retailers in digital formats only. And I say it's funny because they talk about like consumer preference, and the internet is just roasting them tremendously for this. But hold on a second, guys. Wait, maybe it's all okay. Because on this official communication from the PlayStation website itself, they did put the guy who posted this, Sid Schumann, they put his pronouns there. Okay, we can forgive them. That makes everything so much better. Clearly not just an appeal to DEI, ESG, right? That's definitely not what this is. The other funny thing, they say like, oh, well, they'll be released at retailers in digital formats only. That's kind of an oxymoron, right? Retailers, digital format only. What, so you want to sell a box to people? You want to sell the plastic cheap box to people for like 80 bucks? No disc in there? Pretty sure that's what they're getting at. We'll take a look at public reception next. They got over 2,000 responses on this post alone. And again, this was posted just this morning, hours ago. People saying stuff like, do not like this. I've always preferred physical to digital. Really disappointing news. Terrible news. RIP game collecting. We literally own nothing but licenses. This is a horrible decision, Sony. Now, I was going to say before we continue, though, I actually haven't bought a physical copy of a game in ages. I'm pretty much a Steam exclusive PC gamer nowadays. But I have no problem with console gamers. As a matter of fact, I view us all as gamers. The problem are these AAA corporations. Like I've been saying for years, I'd love to see a AAA crash. I'd love to see these corporations gutted. Thankfully, we've been on that way for the last number of years too, but clearly there's still more work that needs to be done. And the last thing to mention really quick, like while I'm a PC gamer nowadays, it wasn't always the case. I grew up as a console gamer and then over the years began to get introduced to some PC games that I fell in love with and drifted to like a 50-50 split, with that ratio slowly trending more the PC direction over the years as the time went on. And a lot of the games I really like playing nowadays are better with the mouse and keyboard anyways. You know, I'll play a lot of stuff like Stellaris, Bannerlord, Hearts of Iron 4. I know, that's shocking, by the way. No one could have seen that coming. And if I want to play a competitive online game, you know, for me nowadays, it's basically just Rivals or some competitive card games I still play here or there. Which takes me to the final point. Despite all of that, I can absolutely understand why people are calling Sony out for this. I could not imagine spending 60, 70, 80 plus dollars on a physical copy of a game and there's no disc. And it's just like the cheapest plastic box they can get away with. And back then, the boxes were better too. They used to actually come with manuals about the game, maybe a map, you know, cool stuff like that, really showing that they were glad to have people buying this stuff and they were doing what they could to support the players too. Nowadays, they just want to rip you off any way they can. Let's check out some more public reception now. Thanks for your patience. I've bought every new generation of PlayStation that's released. Looks like the PS6 is where it sadly ends for me. It'll be a mini PC under my TV with cheaper games for the new generation. Seeing as I won't be able to have a physical copy of my game in my hands, I may as well spend that money on the digital PC editions of games instead. And horrible decision, but what can you expect from this company at this point? And I'm not happy about this one bit. This leads more to the not owning side, quote unquote. Also, if that's the case, then lower the prices by 15%. Physical media should be protected. Yeah, lower the prices too, but of course they're not. They're going to charge you more somehow try and spin it like that. Similar comment over here on Twitter, responding to PlayStation's announcement on Twitter, reads, then stop selling digital games for the same price as physical ones too. You're removing the printing, box, and shipping prices from the equation completely, so I shouldn't be paying 70 bucks for digital games anymore. We got Medicare chiming in on this one. Let's take a look at what he has to say about this. It's 2029. You just bought a PS6. It costs $1,200. All games are digital. They each cost $80. You have 4 in your library. Yesterday it was 5, but Sony removed one. They offered no refund. It's just gone. You'd strangle yourself with the controller cord, but it's wireless. Reads like a freaking dystopian novel. We got a response to the news from Shizuko that says, I can't believe I'm saying this as someone who stuck with PlayStation as my main console since PS2. I won't be buying any future consoles. More similar sentiment right here. This one reads, at this point, my PS5 might genuinely be the last console I own. All this is getting more expensive and less consumer friendly. It's not going to be worth it in a few years, especially for how mediocre most games are these days. I even just had a conversation with a very close friend of mine yesterday about a number of things. But during the conversation, he mentioned that he was also thinking of going and becoming a PC gamer. This is a guy who's been a Sony fanboy his whole life. He's never even owned a computer game ever, not even one. He's been all in on console. But like I said yesterday, because of the state of the industry and the way Sony's been going in particular, because again, he is and or was a Sony fanboy his whole life, it was becoming too much for him. And then the next day, this news comes out. I'm going to be curious to see what he says about all this. He's probably not going to find it surprising at all, though, really. We'll close with this guy. Other end of the spectrum here, we got this dude. Says, I personally don't care that there aren't going to be any more physical discs for PlayStation. I haven't bought a hard copy game in 10 years. I play the game, enjoy it, and that's it. I never understand the outrage. How is this guy real? Dude, like I even said, I haven't bought a physical copy of a game in ages. But like, I clearly understand the issue here. How do you not understand the problem with this? That's crazy. Yellow Flash himself responding and, just posting this GIF. It's like, obey, consume, conform. And that's where I'll leave this one. That is essentially the situation. That is the latest. Thank you for tuning in. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next one.